Welcome to Reviews on the Run. We have an epic show for you today.
That's right. You know, on Mount Olympus, this is the #1 rated TV show.
That's right. Today on Reviews on the Run, it's all God of War all the time as the team takes a look at God of War 1 and 2 on the PlayStation 2. The PSP mini version of Hero of Sparta. God of War Chains of Olympus on the PSP. And the game you've all been waiting for, God of War 3. So I know Sony's going to work this out one day when they're releasing new God of War games. It's
national holiday.
It should be a national holiday,
Banks
right?
closed.
Absolutely.
Schools closed.
Absolutely.
School sucks.
Yeah. We'd rather be home playing God of War, right? God of War 3 hits the shelves today. We hope you're actually watching the show and not playing that game.
Watch us first and then go buy the game.
Absolutely. And we're going to be talking about God of War 3 later on in the show, but we thought, why not take the time to look back at this awesome franchise and talk about all of the games in the series? Let's start with the original God of War. Here's Tommy and I reviewing it for the PlayStation 2. All right, we are back, and we've made it to Mount Olympus because we are talking about God of War.
That's
this
right.
is one of the coolest and biggest PlayStation 2 games I've ever played. It's from Sony. What'd you think of this one?
Not only is it a really fun action-adventure style game, but they do a whole bunch of unique things. Case in point, once you grab a guy, there's a bunch of different ways to kill him. Pulling all apart's my favorite.
This is one of the most violent games that has appeared on the PlayStation 2, but it's not an incredibly gratuitous, mindless, thoughtless kind of just hack and slash kind of gore
He's the
fest.
God of War.
And what really is cool is that the whole game is framed around all of these ancient Greek gods and mythology, and you actually, as Kratos, the main character, you actually get to earn the powers of these ancient Greek gods, like Zeus's fireballs, and you get Poseidon's trident and Medusa's stone attack. So there is a little bit of an RPG style sort of, leveling up element in there as well.
Not only do they have naked girls in this game.
It's a very mature rated game.
But you can have sex with them, and better yet, they've made a mini game out of it. 2 at a time.
He's not lying. Naked girls in the game, and you can have sex with them. What else is cool too is that the bosses that you fight in this thing are incredible.
Oh my God!
It just keeps escalating and getting huge. I mean, you actually see the God of War walking through a giant, city, crushing people. You can see the guys throwing fireballs at you.
It really gives you a sense of scale in this game.
The gameplay is absolutely incredible. It flows beautifully.
Some of the camera angles, though.
Some of the camera angles a little bit. And the other thing that bugged me too is that there's a lot of the same types of bad guys popping up, and you're fighting the same things over and over again. So it does get a little bit repetitive.
Why couldn't they have the camera control on the right analog stick, though? You know why? I guess because they use that to get out of the way. That's your dodge.
Yes. The music is outstanding, and it's very interactive.
Lots of vocal chanting.
It's incredible. All of the gameplay sort of action feels very tight, very solid. There are some puzzle-solving elements, some straight-up action-adventure things to take care of. This is one of Sony's best games. It's one of the best games you can pick up for the PS2. So what are you going to give God of War?
I'm giving it a 9.5.
9.5 for me, too. After this, we take a look back at God of War 2. Welcome back to Reviews on the Run. We are having a God of War party.
That's right. Are you angry?
No, I'm not.
Do you want to break things?
No.
Do you want to fire me?
No. None of those things. I actually just want to play God of War 3 some more. But we've got some reviews to look back on. Here is our look at God of War 2. God of War 2.
Yep.
And oh my God, is this game fantastic. It's from the people at Santa Monica Studios, Sony's Santa Monica Studios for the PS2.
Yep.
Play a game like this and you go, why do I need a PlayStation 3?
Right.
Why do we need next generation?
Imagine what God of War 3 is going to look like on the PlayStation 3.
I know, and people have to take that first leap on the software, but they made the right choice.
They
did. The PS2.
They did, because people forget that there's 120 whatever million PlayStation 2s out there.
They know how to tweak this machine.
Lots of people are still using PlayStation 2, and this is the title that cannot be missed over anything else.
Unbelievable.
I mean, this game, the look, the graphics in this game look better than most Xbox games.
They look better than us.
They look better than us.
Yep.
They look just as good as PlayStation 3 and Wii games. I know. It's unbelievable.
I know. it's a fixed camera. I mean, the computer takes control of the camera, so maybe it's not opening up and showing you every single part of the world. But that's a very smart thing for these guys to do because the camera AI is intelligent.
Yes.
It follows Kratos perfectly.
Yes.
You never feel like you need to control the camera.
Correct.
And they've added extra kinds of abilities. Kratos was a kick-ass dude in the original God of War. Now he can do cool things like throw out his chains and actually swing from them.
Yeah.
There's riding the Pegasus type levels with flaming wings on the Pegasus.
And that's the big story for me, is that you can actually get on a Pegasus. I would have liked to have seen more flying levels, in fact.
Yeah, the storytelling, the script writing, like right at the beginning, Kratos kind of loses all his powers, so he has to go back and kind of get them again, and he has to fight Zeus and just...
And how about the music as well?
The music's phenomenal.
Music, Gerard Marino coming back and doing the music again, unbelievable.
This is state-of-the-art video game development, man. This is what we are all passionate about. This is why we buy our consoles. This is the real deal.
The sheer size and scale. You've got some big-ass statues in this game, but they also have these horses.
Yeah.
And you're on the chains of that. It's
Dude,
unbelievable.
I was trying to like lift fingers of a giant off. He held my Pegasus under him, and I had to like I was at his nail. I was just like a little sliver. And I was like trying to hit the fingers so they would get off my horse. It was ridiculous. It's a mature-rated game, though. We should say that.
It is mature-rated.
Lots of people getting their heads cut off. Lots of cool bosses.
Blood.
It did not have to be this way, my son.
Incredible game.
But the thing is about the violence too, that it's just not like thrown in for violence sake.
No,
I mean, because
or
of
the sex,
style
because
of the
there's
game.
sex in the game too.
Oh, shoot, we forgot to talk about the sex.
Did you like the sex?
You know, it was okay.
Everything's been refined and finessed. It just plays beautifully. If you're over 18, you own a PlayStation 2, you don't have this game, you just hurt yourself. Why do it? Get it. It's a classic. This is what we all play games for. 10 out of 10.
10 here as well.
You know, I've been in a Kratos-loving mood lately, so last night when I was shopping in the PSP Go mini store, I found Hero of Sparta. This is a port of an iPhone game that came out a little bit earlier last year, and it's your basic third-person action God of War ripoff. Yeah, there's all kinds of light attacks and strong attacks, and you have your little gladiator. I'm not even sure what his name is. I'm not sure the game even gives him a name. And the object of the game is to cross the battlefield from one side to the other and destroy everything in your path. The problem with the game is the animation is so choppy and the action is so unresponsive. You press the light attack button, then 3-4 seconds later you feel like your guy finally does something on screen, that the game is almost unplayable. Like I mentioned before, the game borrows heavily from the God of War playbook, including those finishing quick time moment boss ending moves. All of a sudden some button press commands will appear on screen, and if you play God of War, then you know what to do at that point. I mean, it's almost comic when you watch the way that these monsters go down. The little guy will jump on the little monster and he'll start stabbing him repeatedly in the head, and it's supposed to be dramatic and violent, I guess, but it just comes off as kind of silly and almost comical. There's not that much fun to be found here, and I just think that there are better offerings on the PSP. I'm going to give Hero of Sparta on the PSP a 4 out of 10.
All right, that POS PSP Mini does not belong in our God of War show.
You don't know what POS stands for? Well, ask your mom.
There you go. Stick around. We're coming right back with a lot more good God of War to talk about. If you're looking for the ultimate in PSP gaming, check out our look back on God of War Chains of Olympus right after this. This guy is quickly becoming my favorite video game character of all time. I keep playing incredible games. I'm doing that again on the PSP. It's God of War Chains of Olympus, and I'll tell you what, it is the best portable video game I have ever played. Those guys at Ready at Dawn are creating state-of-the-art video game play on a handheld system. Beautifully rendered combat moves, lots of incredibly huge bosses to fight with all kinds of amazing magical spells and cool weapons. The gameplay is super tight, super fast. You know what God of War is all about. It's about beating all kinds of ancient mythological creatures and bosses. You get into lots of arenas. There's puzzle solving and moving of giant statues. This is fantastic gameplay, and this game is a game to get as soon as possible. God of War Chains of Olympus, 10 out of 10. Chains of Olympus, if you don't have that, You are not a gamer.
Ready at Dawn did an amazing job. They took Kratos and they crammed him down.
Now, you were just there not too long ago, right?
I love those guys.
They're amazing. Are they doing the sequel or what? Are they doing another PSP game?
They were working on something when I was there that
It's
they
gotta
couldn't
be.
tell me about.
It's gotta be. But you know what was cool is Sony knows what they have with God of War, and what they did is they re-released 1 and 2 on Blu-ray for the PlayStation 3. Scott and I reviewed it not too long ago. Take a look.